Hey everyone, I'm back for another video. I just got a package in and I'm going to do the unboxing now. I'm very excited. I've been looking for this particular Cricut for a while. She's become very rare to find, so I'm excited I found her and I got a really good deal. So hopefully, I'm sure she'll need some fixing, but as you see, I found the African American Cricut. Very rare these days. Alright, so she is thrown in the box, which is fun because these are very heavy to ship. But I've yet to get one that was damaged because of shipping. So that is good. Looks like they've got some good wrap on her too. It's funny when you get these, they always have a particular smell. I don't know what it is, but it always smells like thrift shop or some kind of smell I can't quite put my finger on. Alright. And she is wrapped. I could just stop, but you know. It's a little creepy. This in a bag there. Yes. Oh look, she even apparently probably got her at a Goodwill. And I paid way more than she probably paid, but that's the market. Ta-da! Alright. I like it. So far, obviously, this is not an original outfit, but I have one waiting in the wings. Oh, her hair looks great. I might not have to do anything to her hair, which is really exciting. Her skin looks good. A little bit of cleaning needed, but not too much. Yeah, great. Let's flip it over. She's got some hair spots there, but I can hopefully fix that. Let's see. All these random clothes that people put on them. Perfect. She has a battery pack and she has a tape in her. Fats Domino's 20 greatest hits. That is the first. So someone had this Cricut singing Fats Domino. That's kind of crazy and kind of funny at the same time. Alright, well anyway, that is it. I will do a video. Obviously I need to put batteries in her and test her out, and I am hoping for the best. So we'll see. Hey everyone, I'm back. I decided to do an extra video. I just unboxed this African American Cricut doll, and I tested her, and of course nothing works. Her tape plays, which is great, but there's no sound, no movement, no anything. So I'm definitely going to have to go into her to fix her. But before I do that, I wanted to kind of show you the common problems that I find when I get one of these well-loved, I guess you could say, definitely seen better days dolls in the mail that usually come from Goodwill or somewhere cheap online. Excuse me. So just real quick, I'm going to show you some of the problem spots. Also, you'll see in the back corner here, there is Jill pieces. I'm not very happy with Jill right now. She is extremely complicated. Maybe I'll do another video on her later, but it blows my mind that Jill was a child's toy because she is definitely a high-tech animatronic robot. So that's a whole nother story. We're focusing on Cricut today. All right, so first thing I look at when I get them is their hair, obviously, and their skin. Her hair is in decent shape, but the more I look at it, the more it's definitely going to be washed. There's no shine. There's a little shine, but not as much as it should be. And The curls look nice. This one obviously has fallen, but yeah, we can do better for her. Also, in the back, she would have to have her hair redone anyway, because she has some spots here that need to be combed out. All right, so look at hair. Skin, look at the arms, look at the legs. Unfortunately, I did find a problem. Usually you can clean anything off the skin, the vinyl skin, but she does have some ear issues over here that I unfortunately cannot fix. If you see right there, she actually has a couple chunks missing out of her. Again, not noticeable from the front if she's on display, but just as a collector's standpoint, that is there, and that's unfortunate. All right, so another thing I look at is the body itself. You'll see this is really bad. The stuffing, that they don't use a lot of stuffing because the body's made of foam, but the stuffing they did use over 35 years or whatnot has clumped together. And then, of course, from kids, you know, picking them up and carrying them around, it makes this loose. So you can see her stuffing is actually going up here. But I'll have to go in and replace all of this because it is old and it is like a little golf ball. So once I go inside here, it's very easy to slip in some stuffing to make her arms solid again. Legs are a little more complicated. They're supposed to be a little wobbly, but clearly there's nothing in there because all the foam has pushed down into the legs. So I will go in and put a little there, and how you do that is you go down the front side, because there's not really a way to get in the back side unless you completely unstitch the fabric. So those are the two things to look at. Obviously, she's got some stains on her. I can work with those a little bit, but if it's here, it's probably going into her foam. So we'll have to see. I have not actually mastered how to do that yet. All right, and then the next thing to look at, obviously, is the tape compartment. So you can see this doll has, let me move this here. I'm not a YouTube person, so forgive me. I'm trying. You can see here she has definitely had some loving. So it looks like, I don't think anyone's tried to repair her. I think that she's just come apart, or maybe they did and didn't realize that they have to unhinge this up here, take that off. I can tell this is original because it's yellowed. If it was new, it would be a whiter color. So first thing I'll do is I'll snap this off and then remove the shell. So then I've just got the cassette player and the head. And that way I can go on inside and see what's going on. Probably just needs to replace her belts. That's usually the simplest form. Sometimes one of the connectors is messed up, which you have to solder. But she's fairly simple. So this body though, I'm gonna have to work on this. So luckily I have an extra foam body if I need to, because I haven't actually seen a foam body ripped before, but there we are. But again, this is something that can be fixed fairly easy, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, that is all for now. I will do another video once I open up and get this cassette player out. So see you in a minute. All right. Usually try to clamp right behind the piece so it doesn't stand out. Ta-da! Alright, and like I said, looks like she has already been, yeah, she's been messed with a lot. Her foam looks good though. I was thinking otherwise, but it is completely out, which I haven't seen in a while. So, but that's good because then I can go in and clean the foam, or clean the skin. So you see, here's the piece I was talking about. It's literally just, it's condensed. It's hard now. So new foam can be put in there. So body's in okay shape. I'm all right with that. I can work with that. So here is what Cricket looks like with just the head and the cassette player. You will notice, unfortunately, I'm sure to save costs with the African American Crickets and Corkys, they did not bother to darken the box to match the skin tone. So these are all the peach colored that all the regular Cricket and Corkys had in mass production. So it's literally interchangeable with any of the dolls out there. It's just the arms, legs, and head that have the darker tone, which is nice. And also, she has the brown eyes instead of the blue eyes. Now, there's two versions of Cricket, African American Cricket. One version you see here, she has the hairstyle similar to the Caucasian Cricket. So she had the pink ponytails and whatnot, and she was pretty much identical. She did have a different top, same look, but it was made of velour. So there's a second Cricket, African American, and she actually has more of a round hairstyle, more traditional for that time period. I don't know which came first or why there was a change, because again, there's just no information out there. From what my best guess is that this is the second version that came out. The first version of the African American Cricket with the round hair. She's in a lot of the stock footage, photos, and she has that different stock footage look, like it's a different doll almost from the manufacturer. She's in all of those old stock pictures, and this one isn't. And then also, this one has a different version of the pink sweater. The second version, I'm assuming, came out, it's like a velour. I think there was probably a lot of problems with the actual knitted sweater for children, obviously. So they came out with a velour version of it that's just all one piece. That's probably much easier to handle and wash. So this version has that, which makes me think that this was the second African American version with this hairstyle. Why they retired the other one, the hairstyle, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll find out, but it is what it is for now. And I actually don't have that other Cricket, so I still have one more to go. But all right, so that is the body. And again, I'm going to actually, well, there we go. That answers that question. All of the screws are already missing. Cool. So luckily I have extras I can replace that with, but someone has gone in there. That's good and bad. That's scary because whoever went in there before could have clearly messed up something. So we'll see. Worst case scenario is the box doesn't work, but best case scenario, again, I said this is interchangeable with any Cricket or Corky. It's all exactly the same. So all I have to do is take off the head, put on a new box, and she's good as new. So I've actually had to do that before, because you can find Caucasian Crickets and Corkys for next to nothing at Goodwill. So if you have to do that just for a body, it's worth it, especially with African American Cricket, because she is so hard to find. All right, I have opened up the Cricket and everything looks to be intact. It did make me nervous that the screws were missing, but I don't see anything here that looks messed up. All the wires seem attached. So fixing a Cricket's pretty simple. There's already some videos out there that actually I watched that got me started. But usually the problem inside a Cricket or Corky are the bands. They're obviously 35 years old, so they are kind of worn out. So there's 3 bands inside these dolls. There is one band here, a larger band. You'll see this moves the mouth up and down. There's a smaller band here. This controls the eye movement, so going left and right. And then doesn't happen often, that needs to be replaced, but if so, underneath all of this, there is another band for the cassette player. I have had to change that one out before. I'm not going to show it in this video because it is complicated, because you got to take out lots of pieces to get under there, and then it is quite the feat. It's not as easy as these, but these are very simple. So just take your Phillips. You're going to remove this one piece here, and that is pretty much all you have to do. Super simple, right? Like, it looks complicated, it's not. I am not tech savvy, so if I can do this, anyone can. All right, so take those off. Now here's an important part I learned the hard way because I lost a spring. But when you pop this piece off, see right here, there's a little spring. If you don't take that off when you start moving things around, it's easy to get lost, and I definitely could not find one. So the one I lost. So I'm gonna take that off, add that over here, and there you go. So now all you do is just remove these bands. This one actually doesn't look horrible, but it is, I'm gonna replace it anyway because why not? This one clearly has seen better days. So this is what happens with these. They make this teardrop shape. Obviously they're supposed to be solid, but what happens is these dolls are so old, they go years without being used. So this was probably setting around this part down here for who knows how long, and it actually shaped and rotted to be that way. So not very good. But all I have to do is replace these two bands, and then she should have movement. It is unfortunate though, like I said, when I played her, there was no audio. So that means I could have to go under there and replace her cassette band. That usually is the solution. If not, then it is probably a wiring situation, which will take a little more work and diagnostics to get into. But for this particular video, very simple. Like I said, you just take off this one piece from here. Make sure you remove the spring and set it with the screws because it will fly off somewhere. And then you just replace these two rings. So a lot of videos, they say use hair. You can use like the rubber hair bands or a rubber band. You can, but as a collector, that makes me cringe because it's clearly not what was intended to be there. Also, a lot of videos say use O-rings. I don't know, maybe I don't know enough about it, but I went on a wild goose hunt trying to find O-rings. O-rings are apparently for plumbing. They're for pipes and water, you know, to seal a pipe. I bought some of those, wasted money because they clearly did not work. They were too big. So what I found, the best solution is you can actually order cassette rings. They're actually very similar. These look like a rubber band, a round rubber band, but if you look real close, of course the camera won't get into that. They're actually square, so they're not rounded, they're squared. But the cassette rubber bands are exactly the same. They're a little smaller, but they still work. So I always replace my bands with the cassette bands because I know those are going to last a long, long time, and they're closer to what the original bands actually were. So again, if you just want to test it out, you can use rubber bands, you can use hair bands. That's totally up to you, but if you're looking for something longevity, I suggest ordering cassette bands. You can get them on Amazon or pretty much anywhere. Just type in cassette bands. Hey everybody, I'm back. I just did a previous video showing you how to replace the bands for the eyes and the mouth on a Cricket or a Corky doll. And I replaced those. Here's the new bands, and I hit play and magically nothing happened. So that means hopefully it is just the cassette band. So I'm going to show you how to get down into that. It is way more complicated, so hopefully you don't have to do it, but it can be done. So to get underneath, you have to take this entire plastic plate off. So all of this, right? Not all of this needs to come off, but there are a lot of screws. So there's a screw here that needs to come off, and here. These actually control the springs and the mechanisms for the mouth and head. So you got to take those off. And then you have to take off, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, 3 or 4 screws underneath here on the plastic that have to come off. And then right here on the back end, there are 2 that need to come as well. So once you pull all these off, it still isn't going to come up because once you move this underneath here, there's a little clasp that you need to obviously push, and then it will come up. Once you release that, you can pull this off and see underneath. Best thing to do is what I do at least, is I take the screws out and I set them next to the doll in the exact order, kind of in like a mapping position of what they look like. Eventually, I haven't done it yet, but I want to take a picture of this or do a diagram. So that way I can just set the piece of paper down next to the doll, pull the screws out, put them right on the diagram. So it's super quick and easy. So if I ever get those done, I will let you know. But for now, like I said, I just pulled them off and I set them aside. So I've done this quite a few times, so I've kind of gotten used to it. The first time I was definitely nervous because there's so many pieces to it. All right. So, and when I take this off, you'll notice underneath there's a little washer. Don't lose the Sorry, it's out of focus or frame there. There it is. Little washer. Don't lose that. All right, and then I'm gonna pull off. So that was the mouth. Now we're gonna do the eyes. And like I said, if you ever need to change out, this is where I found out the head is very easy interchangeable to the cassette bodies, because the head, there's no mechanisms in there. It's just these little wires that can be switched off to any body part. All right, so I've taken those two off. So now to remove them, you see there is a spring here. You don't have to take these off. These can stay screwed down. All you have to do is this is a two-part. So you're gonna take that off and see now it's loose, but you just pull that off. This is gonna stay attached because it's screwed on there. So fine, that's one less thing you gotta worry about. And for this, all you do is pull up and pull that off. Now there is another piece underneath it. Remember, because it has two different eye functions. So I just pulled that one off. This one is on the back, but it still slides off very easy. And there we go. So don't forget how they go. I'm gonna place them together and I'm gonna put them with the screw next to the doll. Now I can get down to the mouthpiece. Same thing. This one doesn't have a screw, so it literally, a spring, so it literally just comes off. And there you go. All right, now those are set aside. So if I wanted to, I could take her head off, but you actually can't do that until you take this plastic piece off. I don't have a reason yet to take her head off, so I'm not going to. I am right now just trying to get to the band underneath. It does look like she has, somehow they get hairs in there. Here's a little piece of some old glue or plastic, which I'll have to remove to find some tweezers. Oh, there we go. All right, so now that we've got those two pieces out, now you can really get down here and see, and it was 4 screws. So there's one way down in this hole, this one, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Once you get those out, all you have to do is get the bottom ones. So go in and get these, and I'm just using a regular Phillips head. These aren't smaller screws, so just a normal average one. I do obviously recommend the magnetic because clearly it's easy to pull those out. So again, I'm going to place those kind of above the talking mechanism for the mouth because that is where they go. So when I put them back on, it's easy peasy. All right, and there's one down inside here. They're all the same for the most part. Some are a little smaller. I'm not good with sizes, so I don't know how to judge that, but this one's smaller. I don't know if that matters, if that's a preference, but that is how they come. All right, so now I'm just going to remove the bottom pieces. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if I can figure out how to actually edit a video, I'll do one of those nifty little fast forward things. I don't know how to do all that. I don't really have a lot of time to do all that either. Okay, so now see this is off, but there is a clip right under here. See that you have to maneuver to get this piece off. Also, these little guys are kind of going to be in the way now, but they move around fairly easy, so not that complicated to get off. You just have to get this little clip undone. There we go. All right, so now it is loose. I'm gonna move those little guys over on the side. Ba-da, there we go. And now we're underneath. So that's all there is. It's just this piece. I'm just gonna carefully lay it off over on the side. The reason is because there are wires that connect right to the battery port. So if you're pulling on that, you could mess something up. All right, so let's look inside. Now you see what I was referring to. So see, there is another band. So this one, you see there's 2 bands, sorry, underneath. So you have a band here, this controlling part of the cassette, and here. Very easy to maneuver. All you have to do is go and replace this band, obviously, and then this one, you just loop over this piece and under. Again, both very easy to change once you can get under here. So what I'll do is I will change these out and then I'll actually try to play it and see if we have audio. If I don't have audio, then that's going to be a much bigger issue, which probably has to do with one of these wires. So we will see what happens, but that is pretty much how you take off the body. I don't want to make this video any longer than it is. But again, these are the same cassette rings that we used on the first part. So you can buy those anywhere online.
Or what?
Hey all, I'm back. So that was quick. Like I said, I just replaced the cassette batteries and magically, guess what? She's talking. And sounds really good. So very crisp, very clean. Again, just had to replace those. Now this one is harder because it goes underneath. Be very careful because it's a smaller band. If you miss this shot to put it around this, it's going to fly up and go underneath this wheel, and that is a world of hate because then you got to take out a lot of stuff to get to it. So as a safety precaution, I don't really have any special tools, but what I do is I stick the screwdriver in and make sure that if it doesn't go around that, if it falls off of my finger, it's going to catch on that screwdriver, so I'm not going to lose it underneath here. This one is a lot easier. The mechanism is underneath the motor right here. So all you have to do is dip it down in there. I usually make like a teardrop shape. I press it to make a smaller loop, and then I pull it up, and then it's easy to go around there. Sounds complicated, but it's not once you play with it. Anyway, I'm very happy she works. So now I just have to try to hook her back up to see if we can get her face moving. Alright, that's all for this video. Short and sweet. Just want to show you that it is working, and you can do this too. Hey everyone, so as you see, I've put the case back on now. I've hit play and everything is working up here as natural. She is doing her thing. Let me turn her down actually. She works very well. See, all it takes is a little work to replace the belts. So, the reason I make another video is because two things if you have to troubleshoot. So when I first turned her back on, this wasn't moving. So I find that this goes from the 9-volt battery that's in the back down here. For some reason, a lot of them, the casing doesn't fit right. So when you put the battery in, it's not actually making a 100% connection. So a workaround is you can take a tiny little piece of cardboard from like a cereal box or whatever, and if you wedge it on the back side of the battery, it pushes it forward, and then everything works. So if you put in fresh batteries and it's still not moving, that's 99% of the problem why. It took me several dolls to figure it out. Funny enough, I actually got one that had the piece of cardboard in there. Otherwise, I probably never would have figured that out. So cardboard is in here and everything started working. It did take a minute for it to kind of move because again, it's old. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little lubrication in here before I put the bolts back on. So this is multi-purpose synthetic grease. I got this off Amazon, fairly cheap. And I'm just going to, it already is somewhat lubricated, but I'm going to put a little lubrication here, and then even on the little plastic parts inside here and around. And then the last step is just to connect everything back up, and then everything's done. So I'm just going to add that in. And again, it's synthetic grease, so you can kind of put it on, it doesn't matter. It's already on the plastic parts anyway. And I usually just do it while it's moving. Just add some in. You see, it just goes with it. I even add a little down here into these gears because, again, why not? It doesn't hurt, right? It's just going to keep everything moving for longer. I just squirt a little around, and then it's just going to go through anyway. And then one down here. All right, this one's a little trickier. So this actually comes off, and I have seen this get really seized up. So I usually would just shove a little on there. Oh, this one actually has 2 washers. That's nice. So put a little here on the top and then a little underneath. If you want to, you can even take the bands back off, and this is just a standalone plastic piece. You can pull that off and lubricate underneath as well. This one's moving so well, I don't feel the need to do that. All right, now put a little here. And a little down here. All right, and that's it. I'll even sometimes put a little up here where the eye mechanisms are going to work, just because why not? And it's just going to keep things moving smoothly. Again, no set amount. It doesn't really matter. It stays in there, so it's gonna help things out in the long run, so you don't have to dig back in here. All right, that's it. So now I'm just going to remember I took the parts off here. I'm going to reattach those to the movement, and then that will control the mouse. So I'll be right back. Well, we're back and we are done. So everything is put back in place. Everything is moving very fast, very smooth. And there we go. She's got movement. And that is it. So you find a thrift store find and you spend a little time and a little money and you have a brand new working doll just like it did back in 1985. So now the next thing I'll do, obviously now that I have all this working, is I'll work on cleaning her. She has some dirtiness in her eyes. I'll clean her skin, and then lastly we'll clean that hair. And then I'll work on the body over there, because that was more time consuming. But first thing I always do, like I said, is try to get the doll itself working, because why spend the time working on everything else if you can't get the doll fixed. But so far, knock on wood, I am 10 for 10. I have been able to fix every one I got. Some work better than others. This one is working really well. So that lets me know that it probably wasn't played with that much, because the motor is so good. Alright, well that is all for this video, and those are all of the fixing Cricut tutorials. So we have learned how to fix the bands for the mouth and the eyes right there, and then underneath we fixed the cassette bands, which brought everything back to life. Funny how that works. You have to have that working to get everything else going. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for joining me. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to say, because I'm a YouTuber now, right? So I'm supposed to say click below to like the video and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm not trying to be a YouTube star at any point. I'm just trying to help people, because I didn't have any help. I kind of had to navigate a lot of this by myself. There was a little bit of video out there, but not much. So I'm trying to help future Cricut and Corky fans learn how to fix and repair their dolls. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks. I'll be talking to you.
Hi, shoppers. My name is Cricket, and I'm the best playmate a kid could ever have. You see, I'm not just another doll. I'm almost like a real kid. We can even talk to each other and sing. Playmates, come out and play with me. Is that a voice or what? You know, I might be the funniest little kid around, because I know some great jokes, like this one. Knock, knock. You say, who's there? Annie. You say, Annie who? Anybody home? Get it? Anybody home? Are we having fun or what? And because I'm the best playmate in the whole world, I can help you go to sleep at night with some real great stories, like the story of Laughing Land, where everyone laughs all the time. I was so excited. Hey, wait a minute. It's not bedtime yet, so I'll save that for later. I need to be dressed in my jammies anyway. They're over there with all my other clothes and tapes. See the dress I wear when we go to a party? Will we be pretty or what? Now don't forget, my name is Cricket, and my favorite thing to do is talk. Guess you want to know why I'm always looking around. 'Cause I want to see what's going on, and I don't want to miss a thing. Let's be friends, and we'll see everything together. Betcha we'll be the best friends in the whole world, even if you can't say rubber baby buggy bumpers real fast. You can? That's the hardest tongue twister I've ever heard. Let's say it together. Are you ready? Rubber baby buggy bumpers. You know, for a big kid like you, you're almost as silly as me. I'll bet you're real smart, too, and figured out that you can buy me and all my clothes and books and other tapes right here in this store. Is this a great store or what? Just remember, my name is Cricket, and I'll be talking to ya. I'll tell you stories and